Well, hello everyone. Hello again. Shalom, shalom. Nathan Lawrence here, Hoshana Rabbah. And this is part two of a video I just made a few minutes ago. I decided to break it up into two pieces, two parts. And the first one was the problems I see going on in America and the West and what to do about them. What to do and what not to do based on biblical perspective. This is also kind of a prophetic update about what I see coming. But to explain what I see coming, I have to explain the trajectory of history a little bit over the last 100 years or so. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and pontificate about, God told me this and God told me that, and be a false prophet or somebody that dictates, prophesies out of the dictates of their hearts about what I think is going to happen. And because God has revealed all this knowledge to me or something. No. One thing you have to understand about biblical prophecy, all these bozos out there claiming to understand everything about the book of Revelation and everything and all, they're all a bunch of biblical fools and silly people trying to make money off of you. First of all, let me give you a little thing about Bible Prophecy 101. This is something that these false teachers will not tell you because they want to draw you in and they want to take your money and sell you their books and their videos and get you to donate to their websites. I get people regularly sending me, go read what this prophet, so-called prophet said, or what this so-called watchman on the wall. And then you go to their website, money, 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 send me money, here, buy my video, buy this and buy that. Well, first I want to tell you, I have nothing to sell. You go to my website, there's nothing to sell, it's all free. There is a donate button because some people like to donate and it helps to offset our ministry expenses. But it doesn't come into my pocket, just so you know. I own a tree service. There's my uniform. I just came in out from outside working and made this video. I didn't even change my clothes, and this is what I wear every day. And so, we have nothing to sell. And I don't have a mailing list. I don't have a following. I don't have anything. I'm just a one that sits at Yeshua's feet. Okay, enough about me. So, there's too many people who are saying, God told me this and God told me that. And that's a phrase that just drives me crazy because the Bible warns against these people that say that God said this when he didn't send them. And many times their prophecies do not come to pass and they give you false words and they take articles from the newspaper or from the TV or internet or whatever, and they take some Bible prophecies over here and they kind of sprinkle them over the top and cram it to fit and paint and match, try to get you understand or make you think that they've got an inside track because into what's going to happen, because everybody wants to have a crystal ball and look and see what's going to happen in the future. I mean, we all do. We all kind of want to know, is my life about to be turned upside down and a war and a famine and economic collapse? And we want to know these things. And so they play on the human emotions and the human psyche that needs to know or wants to know about the future because Yah put eternity in our hearts. Okay? And we want to live forever and we want to kind of know what's going to happen. That's why fortune tellers, astrologers, necromancers, people that do seances, all of those kind of things are very popular. Palm readers, goes on and on. Crystal ball readers, tarot cards, all this stuff, Ouija boards, because of this desire. But the problem is that can lead us in the wrong direction, and false teachers and people that call themselves prophets but are not, they're prophets all right, they're profiting all right off of you, who if you're stupid enough to give to them, sorry, I'm being blunt here, I really don't care. If you don't like it, if this hacks you off, then go back to sleep and turn the video off and go stick your head back in a hole somewhere. I'm giving you the Bible, and this is what the Bible says. First of all, you have to understand this about prophecy. It takes divine revelation to a true prophet who gets a prophetic word from Elohim. And that's what we find in the Bible. Okay? And then it takes divine revelation to understand the prophecy, usually after it's been fulfilled. You say, what? After it's been fulfilled? Yes. Now, he does reveal to his prophets things that are going to come to pass. But very, very seldom do they understand them until after they've happened. Well, Nathan, where do you get that out of the Bible? Where's that? What about all these guys who are predicting to know, guys and gals, I won't leave you guys out, they're predicting to know the future, and they write these books and claim to understand who Gog and Magog and all these people are. And all the 7 seals and the 7 trumpets and the 7 bowl judgments and the 7 thunders and all of this stuff in the Bible. You know, we see through a glass darkly, true, and we can have a general outline, but as far as the specifics, that's really tough. And let me give you probably the quintessential example in the Bible that I could possibly give you to illustrate my point that most people will not understand prophecy until after it happens, and most people will not even understand it then, including the people in the church. Give you an example. Yeshua, Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah, the center of history, the thing that the Bible points forward to in the Old Testament, it points back to in the New Testament, or points to in the New Testament. The central character of history, as they say, it's his story. Yeshua the Messiah. Even AD and BC line or demarcation is more or less the birth of Yeshua. So let me give you my example why most of us will not understand prophecy till after it happens. When Yeshua came and he was born, as incarnated, became the God-man, how many people knew that he was the Messiah while he was alive? How many people knew that he was the Messiah while he was alive? He was doing miracles. He was resurrecting the dead. He was opening up the blind eyes. The Pharisees admitted nobody's ever done anything like this. But they still couldn't believe he was the Messiah. These were the scribes that were the intelligentsia, the erudite, the educated of the day. The Pharisees and the Sadducees were the top religious leaders. The Pharisees ran all the synagogues. The Sadducees ran the temple priesthood. These guys couldn't even believe in him, other than like 1 or 2 exceptions: Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea. The rest of them did not believe him. Yet all Scripture pointed to him, everything pointed to him, and he fulfilled everything to a T, and he backed it up with signs and wonders and miracles. They didn't even believe him. And they're the ones that crucified him. Okay? Now, next point. How long did it take for his disciples to even believe him? I mean, how many times did he have to tell them that I'm the Messiah? And they were still like in a quandary. What is he talking about? At least their hearts and their minds were open. And that's the best that we can probably hope for understanding future prophecy. At least keep an open mind and know what the word says, so when it comes to pass, we will understand. But that takes divine revelation as well. So they struggled with understanding who he was while he was with them, and they saw him and they heard him. It really wasn't, finally toward the end of his 3.5 year ministry, they finally began like, you are the Son of God. But there were even some doubts about that when he was crucified, because they got that one mixed up too. They thought he was coming back as the conquering king, the Messiah, the son of David, the warrior king, not the suffering servant Messiah. They didn't realize there were 2 comings. One as the conquering, suffering servant, and one as the conquering king. Now the Jews talk about this too in their early writings. There would be 2 servants, Messiah ben David and Messiah ben Yosef. They didn't know if one would be first and which one would be first, or if they'd be the same one, or they didn't know. Go read their writings. They were confused about it. And when we finally came, they were just like, it went over their head. So no doubt the disciples were probably a little bit confused by this as well, because this is what they've been taught in their synagogues and so forth. But Yeshua kept telling them, I'm going to be crucified in many different ways. I'm going to die. I'm going to be crucified. And they didn't want to believe him, because they wanted the conquering king that was going to kick Rome out of there and give the Jewish nation back to the Jews. It wasn't until he died, and they all abandoned him and rejected him and like, forget this. This guy must have been, I don't know. They were confused. And it wasn't until he reappeared after the resurrection, or after he resurrected and reappeared to them after and they saw the tomb empty, that the pieces began to fall into place, and they realized, oh, he was the suffering servant, not the conquering king. That's why Judas betrayed Yeshua, because he wanted a conquering king. And when he saw that Yeshua was going to be crucified, he goes like, this is not the man. So he betrayed him. At least the other 11 hung out with him and didn't betray him. They denied him, or Peter did, but they didn't betray him. And then he restored them. Now, even Yeshua's own brothers. Now, his mother, Miriam, she knew, because the angel had spoken to her and to Joseph, her husband, Yeshua's stepfather. But his brothers, James, or Yaakov, and Jude, or Yehudah, who wrote 2 books in the New Testament, the book of James and the book of Jude, they didn't even believe him. It wasn't until after he resurrected that they did recognize it. Oh, these things our mother told us. Oh, all these things he did. Oh, he resurrected from the dead. And they became passionate followers. Go read their books, their writings, and in the book of Acts, as well as James and Jude. But the point I'm making is, you do not understand prophecy until after it happens, or maybe while it's happening. And you might have a glimpse of it and see through a glass darkly, but I'll guarantee you, most of these guys running around that are called prophets in the church, the Lord told me this and the Lord told me that. Bunk. Carnal prophets. Some may even be false prophets, but they're prophesying out of the ignorance and the dictates of their own heart. And there may be a few things that they say is true. As they say, a broken clock is right twice a day. And even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. And, whatever. But be very careful, okay? That's the warning here. Be very careful. And, I think I'm going to stop here, because this turned into something I wasn't preparing to teach about how to understand Bible prophecy. But I'm going to make a video out of this one, and a short one, 13 minutes long, and then I'm going to make another video about what I see coming. So this is a trilogy of videos. I made one a little bit ago. You'll know they're all the same video because it's the same. I'm sitting in the same chair, same position. I'm wearing the same outfit here. So you'll need to watch the next one. I'm going to explain to you what I see coming, not as a prophet, but as a watcher, as a watchman on the wall, and as a student of history and a student of the Bible. All right. So we'll see you on the next video.